I want to tell you that we have made significant progress from last time we discussed with you. Our transmission, rehabilitation and expansion program is on track, very much on track. I can tell you that from the time between the last meeting that we had and now, we have been able to complete the evaluation of Abuja transmission project. And for the first time in the history of the sector, out of the 6 lots, all the lowest price won. What does that mean? Each of the readout price that was publicly read, each of the readout price of the 6 lots, the least price became the lowest evaluated bidder. The reason why this is happening is because we did pre-qualification, and we also changed the qualification criteria in such a way that only companies that are qualified can bid. Now, when you have lion and lion bidding, what do you get? It means that none of them will bid out of scope. So all of them bid out of scope. You normally have a situation where the lowest evaluated bidder, the lowest price does not win because the person will bid out of scope. Or the person, after the evaluation, you discover the company is not qualified. But in this case, we did pre-qualification. So if you are not qualified, you will not bid in the first place. Secondly, we ensure that only companies that are credible, because of the qualification criteria was very stringent. So only credible companies will bid. And thirdly, because lion and lion are bidding among themselves, none of them can bid out of scope. I also want to tell you that there is significant savings. We achieved significant savings. I wanted to give you the number, but unfortunately it was not calculated. But in some of the lots, the saving was so high as 40% of the normal way we normally do pricing of things. So you see, we are going to take the same money to do some other substations in Abuja, because we have savings that we can use to do other things. So this is the story I want to tell you about Abuja transmission project. Now, out of the transmission rehabilitation expansion program, we have also the Lagos Ogun transmission project, where we are putting 6 substations between Lagos and Ogun. You know, these substations between Lagos and Ogun are the substations that we are doing to target the most industrialized part of Nigeria. You know, in Nigeria now, just like New Jersey and New York, between Abeokuta and Lagos, you have the New Jersey. Most of the industries, biggest industries we have in Nigeria, they are between Abeokuta and Lagos. So we are putting 4 330 kV substations. I want to tell you that this is the first time in the history of Nigeria that we are building more than 1 330 kV substation in one location. But in this case, we are not putting only one, but we are building 4. The 330 substation will be located at there's a place they call Mountain on Fire. Very close to it, we'll have 1 330 kV substation. We have one at a place they call Ogijo. Then there's going to be Aribajo, also another 330 kV substation. And then we'll have one at a New Abara. New Abara is the same thing as Ajegule, all in Ogun State. We're also going to build 132 kV substations. One at very close to a place they call Redeem. The second one is at this Badagry. And all this, we have finished the scoping, we have finished the design, we have finished the route survey, we have determined the compensation. What is remaining is that the compensation became very high. So the government, we briefed our minister, and he wrote to the governor of Ogun State for the governor to bring down the cost down, or to take up the cost of the compensation. This is the only thing that we are remaining, that is remaining. JICA is coming next week, so we will now take it from there. Maybe we'll start the procurement process to put this substation. Now, what I want to tell you is that the same way we did Abuja transmission project is what we are going to do for this one. Meaning we are going to do pre-qualification, and we are going to ensure that companies that abandon our goods in the port, they don't win this kind of contract. That is what I want to tell you. Now, the next project that we have under the Transmission Rehabilitation Expansion Program is the NETAP, which was approved by the World Bank in February. That project also, we have finished the pre-qualification for we have just finished the evaluation of the 2 pre-qualification documents. Now we are moving for the tender. The other one, we have gone to the tender. So there are 3 key lots in that project. So one we have given the bidding document. The 2 other 2, we are doing the pre-qualification. We are completing the pre-qualification. So this is where we are. I can also tell you everything is moving fine. That project will put redundancy across the country. That project is targeting existing substation and lines so that we put redundancy in such a way that if a transformer goes out, it does not affect the supply of the place. That's what we are doing with that project. The next one is the project which we call Northern Corridor. That Northern Corridor will target transmission and transformation problem in Northwest. That project will build 3 key 330 kV lines. And those lines are the Kaenji to Birnin Kebbi to Sokoto, and Katsina, Daura, Gwiwa, Jogana, and it will end in Kura. And then it will also build one of the single circuit between Shiroro and Kaduna. One of them will be picked and be built into a cord line to Kaduna. Now, the Katsina, Daura, Gwiwa, Jogana, and Nkura, that is the line that will evacuate the solar IPP that Nigeria is planning to build in Gwiwa. You know, Nigeria wants to build a solar IPP complex in Gwiwa, which will be about 1,000 megawatts, just like the one was built in Morocco, in Marrakesh. That solar IPP, Nigeria wants to solve all the problems associated with the IPP, so that when we are going to tender it, we tender it competitively, so that we can achieve the kind of price that is achieved abroad. You are aware that South Africa has achieved less than 4 cents per kilowatt hour. Even in West Africa, Senegal has achieved about 4 cents per kilowatt hour. So that's what we want to do. So under that line, EU has agreed to give us a grant of 25 million euro, which is a grant, but that project is financed entirely by AFD. That's where we are. Now the next project is what we call Nigeria Transmission Expansion Program, which is the project that will also build 3 key transmission lines. The key transmission, those lines are the Alauji Onitsha, the Alauji Uweri Onitsha. That line, you remember, it was tendered under the NIPP in the past. We have checked and discovered that that contract of NIPP will not be realized. So we have to reconstruct that line. Because I can tell you, out of the several system collapses that we have this year, 3 of them was caused by that line. So we have to reconstruct that line. Now, to enable us to reconstruct that line, we have to reconductor Onitsha, New Haven line. We have been battling for a long time to see how we can remove the equipment that we have in the port to enable us to do the reconducting. I'm happy to tell you that with the help of the Shippers Council of Nigeria, last week we were able to remove those containers, about 22 of them, from the port. So we are now fine-tuning the strategy that will help us to start the reconducting. Because we cannot start the reconducting of those lines without making sure that we'll be able to finish it. That is what we are doing. So we'll start the conducting and we'll finish. So the next line that project will finance is the line between Kaduna and Kano. It's another weak line that we have. The current 330 kV line from Kaduna to Kano is a single circuit line, and this is a single circuit line, and the line is old. It can't carry more than 400 megawatts. And you know that from Kano, we are feeding up to Hadeja, we are feeding up to Azare, you say all those places, and we are feeding Katsina. So that line cannot work. So this project will also reconstruct that line and put a cord line just like the Onitsha Lauji line. The same thing, this project will also finance the Delta Benin transmission line. That line also is significantly a problem. The last system instability that we have was caused by that line. And we have to reconstruct that line to be able to evacuate so many power plants that are around that side. Even Transco Power is expanding, so we have to expand the line to be able to pick those loads. So this is where we are. I also want to tell you there are new things that we are doing. We have decided we have to close the loop in Lagos. We have to close the loop in Lagos. Currently, Lagos Island is supplied from from Egbin to Ajah. This line is double circuit line. One of the line was out for more than 5 years. I'm happy to tell you we have signed a contract with Siemens and we have financed the LC. That second line is going to be fixed. But that is not enough. To meet with N-1, we need to close the loop in Lagos. So we have approached our minister and he's intervened. We have gotten a land through the support of the minister. So we are building a 330 kV substation in Ijora. And then we will build a double multi-circuit tower from Akamba to Ijora to Alagbon. Why do we need to do multi-circuit tower? Multi-circuit tower means that tower should be able to carry 330 and it will carry 132. The reason why we have to build multi-circuit tower, because the same 132 line right of way which we want to use, that line is the line that tee off after Ijora that is supplying Akoka. So we need to do multi-circuit tower to be able to pick both 132 and 330 so that we'll be able to continue to supply Akoka through that line. That's what we want to do. So if we bridge that line, that is, we get 330 kV line from Akamba to Ijora and then to Alagbon. It means that Lagos can be fed through Ikeja West and at the same time can be fed through Egbin. So if there's a problem between Egbin and Ajah, we can feed Lagos through Ikeja West. I also want to tell you that there's a line that we are building from Omotosho to Epe to Ajah. We just had a conference with our staff yesterday. We have agreed that now we are going to even recruit one of our old staff who was very vast with Lagos to help us supervise that project. That is Engineer Obara, who was the former general manager in Lagos. Now that project is also a priority project. So meaning we are creating another loop from Omotosho to Epe to Ajah. That's what we are doing. Now, another thing we are also doing in Lagos is that, Lagos is Eco Atlantic. I don't know if any of you have been to that place. I posted the picture of Eco Atlantic last time I visited to my friends on the Facebook, and I asked them, which place is this? Most people say it's Dubai. Some people say it's America. Some people say it's other places. I am telling you it's in Lagos. And that Eco Atlantic is I think almost twice the size of Victoria Island. And that place is fantastic. It's one of the biggest private investment in the world. I think so. Now, you need to go to the place. But the biggest challenge of that place is power supply. Because there are houses that are in that place. But unfortunately, they are generating their own electricity. Now, Eco Atlantic has approached TCN that they want us to connect them through Alagbon. And we have agreed to do it. We have completed the TUR. We actually initially want to match them together with the 330 kV line, but we felt that it would delay it. So we have removed them, and we are going to do it alone. Now that study will help us to establish how we are going to build underground supply. We are going to pass through underground cable from Alagbon to Eco Atlantic. And also that study will look at the possibility of putting 2 additional 132 kV in Lagos, look at one at Lagos Island, and another one at Victoria Island. We are also looking at the possibility of supplying some of those point load customers. You see some of those big houses that you see them around Ikoyi and Victoria Island. We want to see how we can supply them at that 3 kV line. So the study will establish all those so that we can move forward. So this is where we are. I'm ready to talk to you and listen to you, but I also want to tell you on the soft side, we have maintained our frequency control of 49.5 and 50.5. I can tell you, when we started, many people said this thing is going to be a game. It will start for some time and it will end. It will never end. Secondly, we have also, I'm happy to tell you also, spinning reserve, that was one of our big problems. We have advertised for spinning reserve, and we are going to establish a spinning reserve. We need to do 4 things to stabilize the grid. I've talked to you about the critical investment which we need to do. The next one is for us to have the spinning reserve, which we have advertised, which we are going to establish now. The next one is the frequency control, which we have achieved 49.5 and 50.5. We are going to move forward to achieve the West African Power Pool target of 49.8 and 50.2. We are going to move to that place. But we need to stabilize certain things first before we move to that. The next thing we need to do is to have functional SCADA. I'm happy to tell you also, about 3 weeks ago, we organized an international conference on SCADA. And that conference is well attended, well organized, and it achieved the purpose under which we did it. Now, what is a SCADA? SCADA is the digitalization of the grid in such a way that if anybody misbehave on the grid or fail to comply with the grid codes, he will be seen clearly, and appropriate punishment can be made to that person. I'm referring to either a generator or a disco or anybody, or even TSP. If they fail to maintain their line, SCADA will show it. We have a SCADA now, but the SCADA can see less than 40% of the grid, and also there are a lot of deficiencies that the SCADA cannot see all the grid. Now, the Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program is solving all the deficiencies. And I also want to tell you clearly, that conference that we organized, 3 power grids across the world came. We had the GridCo of Ghana, they brought 2 people from GridCo. Power Grid of India brought 4 people. The grid of Italy, which is Tana, brought 3 people. And all the original equipment manufacturers brought 4 people who attended that conference. And several other experts across the world attended that conference. At that conference, one key factor was established. We need to strengthen our communication backbone before we can launch the SCADA. If we don't strengthen our communication backbone, there is no way we can achieve the SCADA. And we have decided to strengthen the communication backbone. And clearly, I will tell you something that is very clear. We have series of areas where we have weakness in the communication backbone. I'm talking about our fiber optic. Several areas. But several of those areas will be solved by our expansion program. But there are about 3 or 4 places where our expansion will not touch it. And we have decided, I've just given a marching order to Lawal. They are preparing the bidding document and the document for procurement. Very soon you will see it, we will advertise it for the procurement. These areas are from Ajakuta to Benin. We need to put fiber on top of that, our line. Then from Ikeja West to Egbin. And then from Aja to Lekki, and then terminate in Alagbon. And then between Ugwaji and Jos, there's some area that the fiber is missing. We are going to establish it. So this is where we are. But let me also lastly complete, because I've taken so much time. I want to tell you that TCN engineers, in their own ingenuity, just last week, did something that is very marvelous. Lord, what did they do? They are able to use GSM to connect modem of generators to GSM, to connect to the National Control Center. This is something that we must commend them. It's excellent, and we'll continue to work to encourage them to do their best.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for more information on the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.